What began as strange TTubers soon became a full-blown witch hunt, resulting in dozens of accusations, tragic executions, and an infamous stain on American history. It was the Salem Witch Trials. And it all started when several young girls were seen acting strangely. They were dancing, singing, and laughing hysterically. And no one could figure out why. Then someone suggested that they had been cursed by a witch, and suddenly there was a frenzy to find the perpetrator. In fact, this is the terrifying tale of how fear and paranoia gripped a community and led to a series of events that have become a symbol of injustice and religious extremism. Welcome to our channel. Today, we will be taking a step back into time to 1692 Salem, Massachusetts, and exploring the dark events that unfolded during the Salem Witch Trials. So sit back, relax, and prepare yourself for a journey into one of America's most infamous moments in history. The year is 1692, and the location is Salem Village, a small Puritan community nestled in the heart of Mass. Life here is not easy. The people are devout Puritans who live their lives according to the strict rules and regulations of their religion. They believe that the devil is always at work, trying to tempt them away from the righteous path, and that witches are his agents on earth. The community is also rife with fear and suspicion, and the slightest misstep can lead to accusations of witchcraft. The story begins with a group of young girls who are known for their mischievous behavior. They are constantly getting into trouble, and their antics are often viewed as a threat to the moral fabric of the community. However, one day, something strange happens that nobody can explain. These young girls start behaving erratically, screaming, crying, and convulsing violently. Their fits last for hours, and they claim that they are being tormented by witches. The community is shocked and frightened, and no one knows what to do. As the girls' behavior becomes more and more erratic, the community's fear and paranoia grow. Accusations are made, and soon the entire town is consumed with the belief that there are witches living among them. As the accusations of witchcraft grow, so does the hysteria. People are accused based on nothing more than the testimony of the afflicted girls, or on rumors and innuendos spread by their accusers. Soon, a total of 200 people are accused of witchcraft, including some of the most respected members of the community. The accused are put on trial, and the proceedings are conducted in a way that is both shocking and disturbing. The trials are unfair and biased, with little regard for due process or the presumption of innocence. Evidence is often coerced or fabricated, and witnesses are paid for their testimony. The judges and magistrates are also influenced by their own fears and prejudices, and they are quick to condemn the accused. One of the most prominent figures accused of witchcraft is T, a young black woman who works as a slave for one of the families in Salem. Tituba is seen as an outsider in the community, and her race and social status make her an easy target for the accusers. She is tortured and coerced until she confesses to witchcraft, and she is eventually hanged for her crimes. Another well-known victim of the Salem Witch Trials is Sarah Good, a poor and marginalized woman who is accused of witchcraft by the same group of girls who accused Tituba. Like Tituba, Sarah is seen as an outsider, and she too is tortured and coerced until she confesses. She is hanged along with Tituba and several others. As the trials continue, the hysteria reaches a fever pitch, and people are accused based on the slimmest of evidence or even on nothing more than their personal beliefs. Some of the accused are even forced to confess to witchcraft in order to save themselves, even though they are innocent. Finally, after months of chaos and destruction, the trials come to an end. By the time the hysteria subsides, 20 people have been killed, 14 by hanging and 6 by torture. Many others have been imprisoned or exiled, and the community is left broken and divided. But why did this happen? Why did a group of seemingly ordinary people descend into such extreme behavior? The answer is complex, and there is no single factor that can account for the full scope of the tragedy. However, some historians argue that a combination of factors contributed to the events of Salem. Firstly, the religious beliefs and practices of the time period played a significant role. The Puritans of Salem were deeply afraid of the devil and his influence over human affairs. They believed that witches were real and that they were constantly trying to infiltrate their communities. This fear and paranoia created an atmosphere of suspicion and mistrust, which made it easy for the accusations of witchcraft to take hold. Secondly, the political and social tensions in Salem also contributed to the witch trials. The community was divided into different factions. and there was a lot of competition for power and influence. This created an environment in which people were willing to accuse their neighbors of witchcraft in order to gain an advantage over them. Thirdly, the trials themselves created a sort of snowball effect. As more and more people were accused and convicted of witchcraft, the hysteria grew and the accusations became more and more outrageous. This created a vicious cycle that was difficult to escape. In hindsight, it is easy to see the warning signs of the Salem Witch Trials. The combination of religious fundamentalism, political and social tensions, and mass hysteria created a perfect storm that allowed the witch trials to take hold. It is a reminder of the dangers of unchecked fear and the importance of critical thinking and due process. The Salem Witch Trials remain one of the most infamous episodes in American history. They are a reminder of the dangers of religious extremism, political and social tensions, and mass hysteria. The victims of the witch trials are remembered as innocent people who were persecuted for their beliefs, and their fates serve as a warning to future generations. One of the most important lessons we can learn from the Salem Witch Trials is the importance of due process and the rule of law. The accused were denied a fair trial and were convicted based on flimsy evidence or even on no evidence at all. This is a stark reminder of the importance of the rule of law and the need for a fair and impartial judicial system. We must always be vigilant in protecting the rights of the accused and ensuring that they receive a fair trial. Another lesson we can learn from the Salem Witch Trials is the dangers of religious extremism and the importance of separating church and state. The Puritans of Salem were deeply religious, and they believed that they were carrying out the will of God when they persecuted the accused. This is a cautionary tale of the dangers of religious extremism and the importance of keeping religion out of politics. We must always remember that religion should be a matter of personal faith and should not be used as a tool to persecute or harm others. Furthermore, the Salem Witch Trials were also a product of the social and political tensions in the community. There were divisions between the wealthy and the poor, the educated and the uneducated. And these tensions contributed to the hysteria and the willingness of the community to believe the worst about their neighbors. This is a reminder of the importance of social cohesion and the need to address the root causes of conflict. We must strive to create a society that is inclusive and just, where everyone feels like they belong and have a voice. Lastly, the Salem Witch Trials are also a reminder of the power of fear and the importance of critical thinking. The fear of witches and the devil created an atmosphere of paranoia and suspicion, which allowed the accusations to take hold and the hysteria to grow. This is a reminder of the importance of critical thinking and the need to be skeptical of those who seek to exploit our fears. We must always be willing to question those in power and to stand up for what is right, even in the face of adversity. In conclusion, the Salem Witch Trials were a dark and disturbing chapter in American history. But they also offer us valuable lessons that we can apply to our own lives. By learning from the mistakes of the past, we can work to create a better future. Let us remember the victims of the witch trials and honor their memory by working to create a more just and compassionate world. If you enjoyed this video, please leave us a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Your support means everything to us, and we look forward to bringing you more exciting historical tales in the future. Until then, stay curious and keep learning. And if you want to dive deeper into the world of the Salem Witch Trials, check out the additional resources we have linked below. Thank you for joining us on this journey through time.